Hi, Paul Hefty here with the Triangle O football system. We'll look at some defensive variations. We'll look at first some variations from our 4-3 fronts and then some coverage variations as well. Let's take a look. All right, let's quick go over our defensive front variations and calls, and then later on we'll actually go give you some visuals of them. First one is an under call. It's out of our 4-3. We're simply going to kick the front weak and roll the backers strong. Stack is just your classic 4-2-5, so we've got two backers stacked over the guards. Okie is a way to get into a classic 34 odd front. Bear gets us into that TNT front. And then last, BAMA is our goal line. It's a 63 or 71 diamond front. All right, let's go over our defensive coverage variations here. Wolf is our base cover 4, and then trips is our adjustment to 3x1. It's our classic cover 3. Cobra then is a cover 3 clamp concept where now the safety becomes the deep third player and the corner becomes the force player. Toto is classic cover 2, but we do that with soft corners where they're going to give a little ground. It'll look like cover 4 initially. Tom then is our cover 2 man. So we're 2 over the top, but then man under. Uno is classic cover 1. We'll have 1 deep safety with 5 under man cover. Zorro is straight cover 0. Again, no deep safeties, but we're going to be in 6-man pressures here. 5-0 now becomes a combination. We're going to be cover 4 to the strong side, and then the backside's cover 1, where that backside corner or the dog is in solo man. Great against 3x1, or it's a great adjustment for empty sets. Another combination coverage is cover 6. That's cover 4 strong again, but then cover 2 with soft corners weak. And then last is an Eagles. It's cover 8, where we've got cover 4 deep, and we're 4 under. It's just a 3-man rush. All right, so here's a combination. This is an under front. You can see here we've got a double tight end. This is great against double tight end because the H essentially is a tight end. So we're going to go ahead and kick the front to the H side or the left away from the tight Y, and then the Sam rolls up on the outside hip of that tight end, and we'll kick the backers then over a stack position. Still in a cover 4 with our wolf. When we get into a stack, all we're going to do here now is you can see the nose guard and the tackle are going to line head up on the guards, and the Sam and the Mike in this case will stack over top of them. You can see we use what's called a Joel technique, meaning they're going to jam the outside leg. That's the tackle and the nose tackle. And then the Mike and Sam have those A gaps. If we put a Jill technique call to it, the tackles and nose guard would take the A gaps inside leg, jam inside leg, and Sam and Mike would have the B gaps. Here's where we're rolling into an Uno. So we're going to be man under with the goat as the lone free safety 1 high. Here's stacked to a 3x1. So again, we're using the Jill technique here, jam inside leg, but we're going to go Uno one more time, roll into a man under, safety 3. Still got the nose tackle and tackle, the Mike and Will stacked. All right, 34 odd, we call it our Okie. Real simple, the D line just going to move over 1 gap to a head up technique. We'll get in an odd front, but they'll slant back to their gap responsibility. You'll notice on the left there, the end we call an RE, or a rush end. That means he's going to be up in a 2-point stance, but he's still a gap rush player. You're going to go ahead and you see we slide the backers then the opposite direction, and they're going to go ahead and be able to still have their gap responsibilities. So they slide away, backers slide away, and D-line slides towards the call, the strength, but we get slanting action out of the odd front. This is then our Toto. This is a soft 2, meaning the corners are going to give a little ground and be soft, give the illusion of their same cover 4 technique, but then the goat and the ox are going to be responsible for the deep half, and the cat and the dog ultimately responsible for the flats. All right, another variation here. Again, we're using our 34 odd. You can do this with different fronts. This is our Okie front. But we're going to use our cover 2 man, which is our tom call. You're going to signal as both fists thump in the chest. Adjustment here is now the rush end here on the left. He has to go ahead and wall off that H if he's going to free release into the flat. So we don't want him to get a free release easy. We want to get him on that outside gap responsibility, wall him off, and then he can go into a rush. The corners, again, we're going to start soft so it looks like zone all the time, but you can do it where you can come up in a press man. It's up to you. Again, the backers still have their gap responsibility, but then they're going to cover on pocket pass. Last, the Sam again needs to use his wall technique. The big thing he doesn't want to do is allow that A receiver to cross his face fast or just take off vertically fast. So once he sees pass, he wants to go into his wall technique as well. I would recommend not using this versus running quarterbacks. It's tough when you're in this man coverage underneath. The defenders turn their back and the QB can just take off. This is our Okie again, but using it with the Cobra coverage. So again, we've got wide right. The strength is to the right. So we're going to go ahead and kick the front over so that they line up over the center and the tackles. They're going to slant strong. The rush end now is the strong end in his 2-point. We'll kick the backers away weak. Still have our gap responsibilities the same. And now with the Cobra coverage, we're going to roll into a 3. But now you can see the corner becomes the force player, and the ox takes that deep third. Again, here's our Okie with a Sixers call against a 3-by-1. Again, Okie, we're going to kick the front strong so that we'll leave the guards uncovered and then slant to our gaps. We're going to kick the backers weak so we balance it up. We're going to go into a Sixers, a combination coverage, where we're going to be to the strong side or the 3 receiver side playing cover 4, and to the weak side we'll stay in a soft 2. Great combination coverage. We can go Okie with an Eagles. Real simple here. The front, we're wide right, but Okie left because the strength is to our left, the H-back. Again, the front kicks that way, slants that way. Backers slide weak, so we balance up numbers. And now with the coverage, though, we're going to go with a cover 8 Eagles, meaning we're going to stay in our 4 deep on the back end, but we're going to go ahead and drop the rush end now so that we get 4 under and only rush 3 D linemen. We can go Okie Eagles out of the 3-by-1. Same thing, we're going to kick the front now to the right, slant, backers slide weak. We'll stay in our cover 4 on the back end, but we're going to take that rush end and drop off because we're going to be 4 deep and 4 under. Eagles means cover 8. Next one's our bear or TNT. All we're going to do with this to keep it really simple is we basically are in our stack front where the nose guard and the tackle are over the guards, but now the Mike will go down into a 3-point or a 4-point over the center, and his whole goal is to take his same gap responsibility out of the 4-3, but just go ahead and penetrate and cause havoc. We don't want him to be hitting and reading necessarily. You can see we're still in a wolf, so we can go right into our base coverage. So it's a very easy way to get into a TNT look. Now, if you don't have a Mike that you feel can be effective there, then you would player substitute and bring in a defensive lineman or a 2 nose guard there. Here's our bear with a 5-0 coverage. This is great against 3-by-1s. Again, the Mike just goes down to that nose tackle, so we get our TNT. Simple way to adjust. The coverage then with a 5-0 is where you're going to go ahead and go cover 4 to the 3 receiver side, but then we do what we call a blue man, meaning he's solo man, the dog on the backside on the X. So we have that free safety as a cover 1 in the middle, and we're still our cover 4, gives us our 5-0, 4 + 1. For our goal line, we get into what we call a BAMA. This is just a classic 71 diamond or a 63, whatever you want to call it. But you can see now we're going to have the nose guard and the tackle right on the hip each side of the center, and they want to pinch and penetrate. And then our ends are going to pinch and penetrate with our Will and Sam as the contained defenders off the tackles. We're going to bring the ox and the goat, the cat and the dog all up in press so that we're in cover zero, man all the way. The free player is the Mike. He does not have a gap, so again, you want to use this with an impact player at that Mike and let him just fly to the ball. BAMA, Zorro coverage, cover zero. All right, here's an example of it from Penn State in 2016. They're in a BAMA left, cover zero against Wisconsin. You can see we've got everybody within 5 yards of the ball. Here's video of it now. This is where they actually stop them on a 4th and 1 to win the Big Ten championship.
Clement. Did he get it? No!
Here is Penn State again in that BAMA right overload. Zorro coverage against Iowa. You're going to see a quarterback sneak on a 4th and 1. Here's a video of it. Watch him quarterback sneak. The Mike's the free player and makes the play.
He's sure right now. And Beathard trying to leap. He gets shoved back, and Beathard's not going to get there. Someone jumped over the top. I believe it was Kabinda. That is an awesome play by Kabinda. They missed him when he was gone. He shoved that big old head right in the middle of it. Watch him get the height. Right here. Watch him get the height and get up top and make it at its peak right there. Oh, that's awesome. You just don't see that stuff. That's a big-time football play. Nice timing, nice strike, and a great finish.